evening. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. Oh look, a white guy. I want to know what he has to say about things. I hope that he talks about himself for a while. That would be a rare treat. Well, hypothetical audience member, you're in luck. That's precisely what I'm about to do. My name is Jens. That's a Danish name. In Denmark, they pronounce it Jens. I can only assume that is the correct way to pronounce it, which means my parents named me incorrectly. It's taken a considerable toll on my self-esteem. Now when people ask how to pronounce my name, I gotta say, I don't know really. Which is not the response of someone exhibiting a tremendous amount of self-confidence. Now, I don't blame anyone for the way I turned out, except maybe the people who raised me, and in general, the society that surrounded me. But other than that, I don't blame anyone. He said, modestly. At the tender age of 6, I was given a tremendous amount of responsibility. Smokey the Bear himself charged me with the responsibility of preventing forest fires. Not necessarily something I agreed to. He just kind of pointed at me and said, only you can prevent forest fires. Really, Smokey? Only me, huh? That means I'm not going to get any help from the Forest Service, or firefighters, or even Smokey himself. No, this is a duty I must discharge on my own. Gotta say, you guys, I've been pretty dog shit at it. Haven't prevented a single forest fire. I've been very derelict in my duties. For that, I apologize. I was also expected to pledge allegiance to the flag a lot. That was a weird one because you had to do it every morning, as if a pledge made one morning doesn't carry over to the next. But I think that means unless you're doing it at home, things like weekends and holidays are cheat days. You wake up on a Saturday morning, hail Comrade Stalin. Or Hitler. Or both. I mean, it's a cheat day. Treat yourself. I was told a lot of lies as a child. They were white lies, but lies nonetheless. I was told that drugs and alcohol aren't cool. They are. They're like the coolest thing ever. I wish someone would have told me, because then I could have been like, oh, that's how you make friends. It's so easy now. In my high school health course, I was given the expectation that I would have a lot more opportunities to acquire an STD. That armies of virulent harlots would throw themselves at me like so many ants upon a forsaken lollipop. Those opportunities have not manifested. I can't imagine why. Now, I know some of you might be developing theories, but hey, let me shoot them down real quick. I don't have autism. Don't have autism. Fucking love trains, though. Have you guys seen Amtrak's new SC-44? Fucking cherry. But I digress. I don't have autism, but I think it would simplify some things. I might have some excuse for what you see before you this evening. For example, someone with autism might have difficulty making direct eye contact because they have a neurodevelopmental disability. That makes that kind of adaptive behavior difficult. I have difficulty making eye contact out of what I can only attribute to a deep sense of shame. The trouble is, I don't know what I did. Which means I don't even get to enjoy what I did. Like, if you did a murder, you'd feel bad about it, I assume. But hey, at least you got to do a murder. But I ain't never done no murder. What am I left with? All of the self-loathing, but none of the solipsistic ecstasy of taking a human life. And statements like that make people raise a skeptical eyebrow when I insist I don't have autism. Even after I've carefully explained to them that I only exhibit 2 of the 3 indicia of autism on the DSM-5. So there. Now who's socially inept? Still me? Yeah, that checks out. Okay. Since we've only known each other all of 5 minutes, and the only thing you've said to me is to politely ask how I pronounce my name. I've made all of this much more difficult than it needed to be. Let's start over. Hi, my name is Jens. I think. And I can look you in the eye right now because I ain't never murdered nobody. Let's move on, shall we? As you can all probably tell by now, I listen to a lot of hip-hop. And I gotta say, I agree with the Ghetto Boys. It does feel good to be a gangster. I say that from considerable personal experience, being someone who always plays his cards right and never flexes nuts. This is because I consider myself to be a real gangster-ass individual. Now, I choose the term gangster-ass individual rather than the word that's used in the song because I am not a fucking moron. Incidentally, not being a fucking moron is an essential aspect of being a real gangster-ass individual. Would you all like to hear more about my life as a gangster-ass individual? I suspected you would. I find that there's nothing in the world sweeter than a crazy thick bitch. And I don't necessarily mean a bitch who is crazy thick, although that is much preferable. I mean to say a bitch who is thick, but also, and this is the important part, crazy. Because although crazy thick bitches may be trifling hoes, they will love you like no trifling hoe before them. And that, my friends, I think is the most important part. It's the love. It's the love and that ass. That ass that can clap. Like Olympian thunder. That in the very next moment, softly, whisper, reminding you, perhaps there is a God. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that light over there is indicating that our time together is nearly complete. Before I have to leave, I would like to say it's been a pleasure speaking with you all tonight. I would like to think that we all learned something. I don't think we did. I don't think we did. And to be honest, I might have blacked out there for a little bit. That's nothing a neurologist can't diagnose later, or maybe a mortician. Whoever gets to me first. I'm not worried about it. Everything is cool in the mind of a gangster. But before I leave, I want to say one last thing about being a gangster. Now, if being a gangster means using violence to intimidate those in your community who are weaker than you, or if it means exploiting vulnerable women sexually for money, well then no. Perhaps I am no kind of gangster. However, if being a gangster is something different, if being a gangster is more a state of mind, well then folks, damn it. You guys are a lot of fun. I'm just... Keep it going for Jen Sorensen one more time.